Hi, I'm Jeff McLean, CEO of Solidarity Wealth, and today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics, and it's the tax strategy called qualified small business stock, which is found in section 1202 of the tax code for everyone taking notes at home. The reason this is so exciting, the reason this is one of my favorite sections of the tax code is because of the impact that it does with proper planning right through the code. So here's the why. If you are a qualified and own qualified small business stock, the first $10 million of your gain is federally tax-free, and in many states, like Utah, state tax-free as well. So what that means is if the first $10 million of your gain is federally in-state tax-free, that amounts to $2.845 million or $2,845,000 of real tax savings, not a deferral, but complete tax savings. And so that's part of the excitement of it. Now, the big question is, for most, why haven't I heard of this? Well, without going into the full history, it really started in 2011 when you could have 100% exemption from tax associated with your qualified small business stock. And so that's part of the recency of the power of this tax strategy. So who qualifies for qualified small business stock, or QSBS for short? There are 5 things that a company has to do to qualify as a qualified small business stock. First, you must be a qualified C corporation at the time you receive the shares. 2, you must be a qualified small business, and we'll talk what that means. 3, you must be an active business, can't be passive, and again, we'll dive into what that means. 4, you have to be a qualified trade or business. Most businesses, it doesn't apply to. If you're in software, it applies a lot more, and we'll talk about that. And last, number 5, you have to hold the shares for more than 5 years to qualify under section 1202. So let's break those down. What does that mean for you? So first, it has to be a domestic C corporation, a U.S. corporation, and you have to own the stock. And that's an important point for those of you with stock options or warrants. You don't hold or own the stock until you exercise your shares. That's going to be an important point as we talk about the 5-year rule later on. 2, qualified small business. What does that mean? It means that the value of the assets of the company at the time you received the shares were less than $50 million. So the actual assets. There's a few defined terms under there, but 50 million of assets on the books of the company or less. 3, what's an active business? 80% of the assets of the business have to be actively. It can't just be a business with a stock portfolio. That one's pretty straightforward. Next, what's a qualified trade or business? In short, if you're like me in my background, you're a lawyer, you're a wealth manager, you're in any kind of service business, you're not going to qualify. If, however, on the flip side, you're in software, you have a really good shot, especially if you have a software, a SaaS type of company, software as a service, that is typically going to qualify, even if you're in areas where typically wouldn't, but if you have software component like fintech, insurtech, health tech, going to qualify. Lastly, the 5-year rule. Now, you're allowed to tack or continue and start the 5-year clock from maybe you started as an LLC and then converted to a C Corp when you raise money. That helps you meet the 5-year test. Or even if you don't meet the 5-year test and you have a partial sale, that's okay. It doesn't mess up the shares that you have that you're still holding that you can hold for 5 years. So there's power in that. And so those are the quick 5, and there's details for within each of those to make sure that you qualify. But as going back to where I started, the power of QSBS is it's a full tax savings, and that's just for you. Some of the power is what's called QSBS trust stacking, or you can create trusts to also hold QSBS shares so that you could turn potentially 10 million of tax savings into much more than that. Let me give you an example. I have 3 kids, so if I had a crazy successful tech company and I wanted to create trusts, QSBS trusts for each of my children, well before a potential sale would happen, I could give each of my kids a trust for each of them. So 3 different trusts plus my own $10 million. That's $40 million of tax savings, or in other words, an actual tax savings, that's over $11 million of tax savings. That highlights the power of QSBS. So if you have questions based on this quick primer on QSBS, call Solidarity Wealth. Reach out to a member of our team, where we are experts at helping guide clients through QSBS and how they can create wealth, how they can keep more money in their pocket, and partner with CPAs, partner with attorneys to help create incredible plans that meet both their family goals, but also just so happen to have tax benefits to it. So again, I'm Jeff McLean, CEO at Solidarity Wealth, and we'd love to hear from you.